with him. So without further ado, let's put our digital hands together for David Torres. Thanks, David, for being here.
Absolutely, it's an honor.
All right, David, I want to start off from a little bit of background about you. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? What were you doing before Year Up? Can you give us a quick snapshot of your bio?
Absolutely. So, you guys may know I'm David Torres, 24 years old from the Bronx, New York. Um, Prior to Europe, I was actually attending BMCC, which is actually right here next to my office. And yeah, BMCC wasn't really working out for me until I saw, the advertisement for Europe, and I decided I was going to give it a try. After, I applied twice, just so you guys know, and yeah, I didn't really get accepted the first time. Um, yeah, best borough indeed, Eric. Yeah, I didn't get accepted the first time, but then I applied again. This is of March. No, I got accepted March last year during the pandemic. And yeah, it's a bit of a bummer, because, Europe isn't in person, still isn't, but, hopefully you guys get to all meet each other in person one day. But yeah, I got that conditional acceptance. I was super, super duper excited because, I felt like I had a chance to excel my IT career. And, this is the correct path I chose.
Awesome, awesome, David. So one of the things that I love about your story and your Europe journey is that you shared you applied to Europe once, you didn't get in. You applied again, you got in. You had an experience with BMCC that wasn't super positive, and you sort of told yourself, you know what, year up, like I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna be committed. I'm gonna be on camera. I'm gonna collaborate with my colleagues. I'm gonna do a lot of things. I'm not gonna share all of your secrets. I want you to share them. But you went from like somebody who was waitlisted the first time and then got in to somebody who we just found out yesterday is very likely to be class 29's graduation speaker. So congrats, David. So how does David Torres go from a person who was, kind of unsure about his career path, where he was going to go, what he was going to do, to being somebody who is a real star in the Europe program? Like, what were some of those decisions you made? What were some of those things that you did?
Well, so first off, you have to have a plan B. You have to have a backup plan. If college isn't really working out for you, you have to figure out what are you going to do. How are you going to utilize resources around you? And for me, it was, like I said, it was year up. And I know I said I saw it on BMCC, but that actually wasn't really the first time I actually heard of it. I was referred to it by, a friend of mine who actually attended, my brother, who had his friends attend, and they all had successful careers. And it's just having a positive mindset, pretty much, and just feeling like you can still do what you want to do, even though some things may not work out in your favor. You have to remain, you have to mitigate, the pessimistic attitude. You have to feel like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna use these resources to find out, you know, what I can learn. I'm gonna connect with people and find out what knowledge they know that I can use to my advantage. And actually, while here at Amex, there's a few alumni from Europe. One of them being from class 10, which is when they had the Brooklyn campus. And he told me how much Europe changed his life. And because he didn't want to go to college, because he felt like, the classes weren't really working out for him. He was taking 6 classes, including the weekend, which is what I did as well. Big mistake on my part. And, he said Europe, was there for him. They recommended him um, to American Express, and American Express actually took him in. And, my word of advice, if you're in Europe and, you feel like, there's nothing really out there, just constantly connect with all your you know, all the staff, instructors, um, especially like employment placement team, which is what you'll get towards to, you know, later on during your Europe journey. And, you know, yeah, just let this, you know, let's let everything sink in is what I'm trying to say.
I love it. I love it. One of the things that you did a really good job at, do a very good job at, David, is connecting with people. So like you and I text all the time. You talk to Huda or the other coach that you have. I know you and your colleagues have met up a few times within Europe. You're making a lot of good connections at Amex as well. But you're in a situation that's unique because you did L&D virtual. You're doing your internship physical. But for the folks who are in the room today, they're all in the L&D phase and they're all virtual. And it's probably a challenge for a lot of them to connect with their colleagues. How did you go about doing that? Like, how were you a catalyst in connecting with your colleagues in the virtual space while you were in learning and development phase here at Europe?
Well, given the fact that, you know, it is virtual, and I know it's like, it's kind of hard for people to have that, you know, social connection, you know, it's much different if you're face to face. But I would say just, you know, it's like, you know, exchange numbers, you know, if you guys are comfortable exchanging numbers with each other, you know, build a support group with each other, you know, check up, like, see what knowledge you guys can gain from each other and actually utilize that, you know, within your classes. You can also, you know, just learn more about each other. You know, it can be via Zoom, or, you know, if you're comfortable, set up a day where you guys can meet in person, you know, while being socially distant. Um, you know, it is hard during this pandemic, but, you know, it doesn't really hurt to utilize, you know, technology around you. And with technology being a big thing, regarding connecting, you know, it's just something that you have to really, you know, understand. Like, you know, just think about how much, like, how far we are into this pandemic and how close we are getting to, you know, having that normalcy. But, you know, right now, you know, you guys are all in the same room. Um, you know, just private, maybe like private message each other, you know, just exchange some info and, you know, just find out about each other. Connect on LinkedIn. Um, have like a little, you know, peek of like somebody's background. Uh, yeah, like, you know, like I said, it's hard during this, you know, during this pandemic, but, you know, just make the effort. You know, even in breakout rooms, you know, you get into random breakout rooms during your classes. That's honestly the perfect opportunity for everyone to actually find out about each other. And that's actually how I've gotten close to my colleagues as well. You know, we were in a lot of breakout rooms, and then we started talking offline, via Zoom. And yeah, I tell Eric, like, now we're all like going to each other's houses and stuff, and it's pretty awesome. So, you know, I really encourage everyone to just, you know, make the effort. Technically, you know, it doesn't have to be in person.
Awesome, awesome. Last question I have, David, and then if you have a question for David, you can either raise your hand or put it in the chat. We'll try to get to as many as we can. You're on internship right now. You're sitting in an office space. Believe it or not, for the class 30 sitting here right now, you're going to be at your internship in very short amount of time. I mean, we're already, you know, Saturday is May, June, July, and then you guys are off to internship. And I can imagine it's probably pretty anxiety inducing because it's a big change going from the L&D phase to going into a workforce, whether that's virtual or in person. So, and David, you're an IT help desk participant. What can you share about your experience so far on internship, and what encouragement would you have for those of us as we embrace for that next part of our experience at Europe?
Absolutely. And I just want to throw in, guys, do not take L&D for granted, because once you go into internship, you're most likely going to miss this. I miss L&D so much. I miss seeing all my instructors, all my colleagues in the same, you know, same Zoom room. But, you know, we still get to see each other during seminar. But, you know, guys, just take advantage and, you know, just constantly, you know, connect with each other before you go into internship. But as far as the IT help desk, help desk job, my everyday life seems, to be, meetings back to back, constantly running diagnostics on assets, which are laptops and desktops. And yeah, what we do is, given the circumstance that everybody's working from home, most likely until September, we have to actually ship out these assets to new users, just until they come into the office. So yeah, we use the base image of American Express to put onto laptops, which new users can use, to work from home. Um, Updating tickets is also a big thing here at MX, and you know, while updating tickets, you have to constantly keep in contact with your manager. If you don't know something about your ticket, like there's an error or there's something, like let's say a laptop is missing, you have to constantly communicate with your team. For your internships, you won't be using Zoom, but you'll probably be using other means of communication, such as like Slack, WebEx. I believe the other one is Google Meets, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you'll definitely be using a whole lot of communication interfaces. Uh, but yeah, during internship, you're gonna be pretty busy. Just saying, you're not gonna really have time to, socialize. And I don't want to make that sound like a bad thing because, most likely, more than likely, you guys are gonna be virtual or maybe hybrid. But yeah, just know like internship is gonna keep you pretty busy. It's gonna feel like, you're working a full-time job, and your dedication in internship is what your managers look at as well. Um, Even Europe, they look at it as well. And that's honestly gonna, even outside of work hours. Outside of work hours, no, you won't have deliverables if that's what you're asking. I know people are hesitant about the deliverables, but no, you definitely won't have those. Uh, I'll get to you guys' questions in a bit, but yeah. So during internship, yeah, like I said, you're gonna be pretty busy. But also while you're internship, make sure you have, you connect with people. Connecting is such a big thing. And more than likely, you guys are also gonna have alumni within your support group as well.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks so much, David. We appreciate your time. So yeah, there's a few questions in the chat. If you also want to raise your hand and ask, you can do that as well. But let's start off with Brian's question. So, David, what's your work flow look like? How often are you in the office? Where is the office? Like, what does that look like?
Um, so yeah, right now I'm in the office 5 days a week. The rest of the team that we have here, they're actually hybrid. Well, they're doing 2 weeks in, and 2 weeks at home. So it's like a rotation. But for interns such as myself, we actually have to be in the office 5 days a week to get that hands-on experience. Under circumstances, let's say, if there's like a COVID related issue, like if there's somebody was in maybe close contact with someone who had COVID, then we would have to work home for about maybe 2 days, 2 or 3 days until they get their results back.
Yeah, and just like to give you a frame of reference, where is the MX office, David? It's downtown, right?
Yeah, it's right here in Fulton Street. So it's right across the street from the Freedom Tower,
Yeah,
next to the 9/11 Memorial.
right. So keep in mind, guys, like David's getting up every morning, taking a shower, getting dressed, going on a train from the Bronx to Fulton Street, working what, 9 to 5, 8 to 5? What's your hours?
So it's 8 to 4, but
Okay,
yeah, because they limited the hours, but
right,
we can stay until 5 if anything. Yeah, usually I like to stay till 5 to update any tickets that I have.
sure. Yep, and 8 to 5, and then getting on the train, going home, like that's his grind right now. So when he says enjoy the L&D phase, I mean, I think he means it because when you're an intern too, you probably feel a sense of like I have to show up every day. I can't say I'm tired. I'm just gonna stay home and play video games. Like you're trying to prove
Uh,
yourself. Yeah,
I
yeah,
could barely touch my video games at all.
oh gosh, we just lost the whole crowd. No. All right, let's start off with Davian. You had your hand up first. Go ahead, Davian.
Hi guys, good morning. Sounding a little sick right now, so sorry. But
Sorry.
No worries.
my question was, do you feel as if your skills that you learned virtually were transferable to when you went in person in your internship in terms of IT and tech?
In terms of IT. So this would be, you're asking me if I'm emulating, what I learned in Europe and transferring it to American Express, correct?
Yeah, like did the things you learned for IT virtually in class like transfer over to your internship in person? Because I feel like IT is a very hands-on kind of job. And like one of my concerns coming into this was, will I get enough knowledge to where I could use that like in person?
It's a pretty good question, Davian. So within Europe, like I said, since we were all virtual, we didn't get to have that hands-on experience, just dealing with hardware. Um, but definitely what I learned, while in Europe when I was taking the CIS classes, was basic computer, info, such as how to deal with hardware or, how to open up computers. Let me actually show you guys a sneak peek of what I'm doing regarding computer hardware. So right here, I'm actually changing a battery, and this right here is a 42 watt for a Dell. I think this is a Dell Latitude 5300. So basically, when you have the hands-on experience while an internship, this is something that you would actually be doing in Europe if it was in person. So the things I learned from Coursera, the things you learn from Coursera or whoever is teaching you, I think is Doug or Kachun, I'm not sure. Those things that you do learn, they will transfer over. But within internship, you will get, hopefully you'll get the hands-on experience, but your manager or whoever will guide you along the way on, how to run, let's say, for example, how to run the diagnostics on your computers, how to troubleshoot any software or hardware issues. They won't throw you into the fire, basically. You'll have someone there to guide you, but everything that you do learn in Europe, won't all be transferred towards internship, but some things, will sound familiar and, you'll know it right off the top of your head.
And just to piggyback, it's a really great question, Davian. I think it's something that a lot of Europe participants wonder about. But just to clarify, like, David, you can speak to this. When you showed up your day one internship, like, were they expecting you to know everything about everything?
You see, now that's what I was afraid of, prior to internship.
Right.
I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I forgot what I learned. What are they gonna ask me? Are they gonna ask me to open up a whole computer, take out the motherboard and put it back? I was so afraid. But it wasn't really as hard as it may seem, within IT. I know when people hear IT help desk, they expect that their managers expect them to know everything right off the bat. No, not how it is at all. Trust me. Like I
Yeah.
said, someone's always gonna guide you.
Right. I mean, I think the biggest thing they're looking for is, are you coachable? Are you teachable? Are you open to learning? Are you asking questions? These are the things that we try to instill to our Euro participants, because you're an intern. You're not walking in with 10 years of experience in the field. You're walking in as in, I'm just finishing my training and I'm here to learn. I'm here to grow. So excellent question, Davey. I'm really happy you asked that. Amir?
Hey, thank you. So, David, I wanted to ask because you brought up connecting before, and that's really big for me because I always like to connect when I was in school, when I had my job. Even now, I try to connect as much as I can. But in my situation, I'm in a split LC, right? Where I have some software, some IT, and I find myself struggling sometimes to connect with my software folks. So would you say there's any advice you'd give for me to like try to find some common ground with them and try to, build more of a network?
That's a great question, Amir. Um, so you say you're having trouble communicating with software folks. What I would definitely say is reach out to each participant, one by one. One by one, when you connect with, other people of a different group, or maybe you're in the same group, you start to build up, you start to build a rapport, with one person, and then it becomes, a chain of effects. That person, you get introduced to somebody else who knows that person. So what I would do is, just reach out to somebody within that group and see how you can connect with them and have, make knowledge a lot more feasible, or just make everything a lot more feasible regarding communication.
I see what you're saying. Thank you, David.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, great question, Amir. Thank you. There's a few in the chat. David, we'll do these like rapid fire, and then we'll get to Jesus and Eduardo. All right, rapid fire questions. So we already answered, are you hybrid? So no, David's in the office 5 days a week. Interns, what other interns are in the office with you, David?
So it's me and you remember Usman?
Mhm.
He's right over there.
Oh, there he is.
Hey Usman, say hi. It's Eric.
What's up, Uzman? So he's there, and you have one other from class 29 IT, right? Ashley Gavin.
Yeah, Ashley Gavin, and Manny Garfias.
Oh, and Manny too. Hey, David. I know you can't hear me because of the headphones. Good to see you. Yep, I miss you too. I miss you too.
He said he misses you too.
All. I don't know what you're saying, but I trust it's all good things.
He said you're his favorite.
Oh wow! See, I told you guys, I wasn't lying.
You don't have to say I'm your favorite. I get it. You don't have to say it right now. I get
Okay.
it.
All right, go do your work.
All right, Uzman, you're gonna be the guest speaker next week. All right. Rapid question: what skills have you found most essential in your internship, David?
So the skills I found most essential in my internship was imaging computers, because you run into a whole lot of errors while doing that. So what imaging is basically a hard reset. So it makes the asset compatible within the MX domain. So while doing that, I've also learned to actually run diagnostics. So what that does is it audits the computer for any hardware issues that it may have. So that it may be a battery issue, webcam issue, no hard drive installed. Yeah, those are skills that are definitely going to be useful for the IT help desk. And when you remotely connect to, let's say, to another user's computer, more than likely you're going to be auditing using command prompt. So actually running diagnostics and hard resetting computers is something that's been really essential. And also, like I said, you run into a lot of errors, but some things that you can't, or some things that you can't fix.
Gotcha. Thanks, David. One more rapid fire. Then we got two hands up. What's the most fun task that you had to do at your job?
Most fun task. I wouldn't count this one as fun, but me and Usman, we actually had to end up, what was it? We had to find like 12 computers that one time from Constantine. And yeah, we had to find 12 computers, and we had to actually like split it up. And we had to search like the whole concierge. So it was like a kind of a bittersweet kind of task, but
Yeah.
yeah, our manager was completely impressed.
So wait,
And
you gotta explain this for us. You had to find 12 like just had to like walk around the building looking for computers like under
well,
desks and
no, not around the building, but like around this whole like vicinity over here.
gotcha.
So yeah, we had to actually, communicate with our colleagues, asking them, what, like, have you seen this asset? Have you seen this asset?
Right.
And it was just like, a mix of like different answers too. So we ended up finding about like 10. We were
Okay.
so close.
Yep.
We were so close to finding all of them, but our manager, he was like, you know, he knew our struggle. He knew we were struggling. He was just like laughing. He was like, "Oh, at least you guys tried."
Hey, that's pretty impressive. Just walk around and find 10 computers. It sounds like a game.
Yeah, and then some of them have like almost the same serial number besides like the last few
Oh,
digits.
yeah,
So
that's
it's like we
tricky.
look at one serial number, we would get so excited thinking we found it, but then the
Yep.
numbers and letters are completely different. I'm like, that's not the one.
Nope, it's not the one. That's really tough. All right, we got 4 minutes left.
Search and
I want to be
rescue.
mindful of the time. Jesus, what was your question for David?
So earlier you said that they give you some sort of type of training. I was just wondering what that looks like.
So as far as training, so sorry, they'll definitely train you to wow, sorry. Yeah, they'll train you to um deal with basic, you know, computer skills. Like the ones that say, you know, when you run diagnostics, or when you're imaging, basically hard resetting. But first things first, they'll definitely start you off with emailing users who haven't, you know, returned their old computers because they get new ones when their warranty expires. So yeah, you'll definitely be dealing with the ticketing system first in regards to training. And then, yeah, after that, they'll put you, you know, into the advanced things such as the imaging, the changing hardware, shipping out assets for repair. And yeah, it's not as hard. Well, it's not hard at all. Like it's really easy. You know, just put that out there. I hope that dwindles down any like anxiety they have towards IT help desk, but you know, they'll train you little by little with everything.
Awesome. Last question, then we'll let David go to his next thing. Eduardo.
Hello, David. I was wondering what's the best advice you'd give someone in the L&D phase? Like, what's something I should be doing now to prepare myself for internship?
That's a really, really good question. So prior to your internship, you know, I really encourage you and just everyone to connect. It's a really, really big thing. You know, just connect with each other. You know, find out what you guys can find out from each other to make everything easier. You know, make everything easier upon yourselves. And you know, talk to your instructors, talk to staff, and pretty sure you guys will be doing, you know, networking events with corporate partners. Connect with those people as well. You know, in regards of IT, I mean, it doesn't only have to be IT. You know, it can be maybe like something regarding IO as well. But you know, constantly just connect with each other. Connect with each other. Do your deliverables on time. um, yeah, just like, you know, stay engaged. You know, because that's something that the, you know, corporate managers look at, something Europe staff and instructors look at, and that's what's gonna bring you, you know, that's what's gonna get you to break the barriers, you know, to succeed.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. I did not have any doubt that David would put us out on a high note. So we do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and get back onto camera, and let's go ahead and give our guest speaker, Mr. David Torres, a round of applause, and thank him in the chat box as well. He took time out of time out of his busy schedule, his busy day, to share with us. So, David, thank you again.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I know you guys will all do great. You know, maybe I'll see one of you guys here in the Amex office.
Yeah, you very well may.
You know, like I said, you know, guys, stay engaged, do deliverables on time. And if you guys want to reach out to me on LinkedIn, see if I can actually put the link in there. Where's my phone?
I can also do it for you too, David, if that's easier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Please.
I know you got to get going. Thank you again, sir. Really do appreciate your time. And go ahead and there's your link. I'm going to drop it in the chat right now. Yep, please add him as a connection.
Yeah, guys. And if you also message me, and if I don't respond, I'm sorry. Office is really busy over here, but I'll definitely make some time and respond to anyone who messages me. So
Awesome. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great one.
you as well.
Take care. All right, so he's wrapping up. Do you guys have any questions or any follow-up things you want to chat about in terms of David's time with us? Yeah, Jason?
I'm gonna be real honest with you. I really appreciate the fact that you got someone in our course field to actually come through, and what's more, as an alumni.
Mhm.
I think that's very more encouraging to us than what we've been getting in developing you thus far.
Mhm.
So I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, Jason. I'm so happy to hear it was helpful. Here's the thing is like this is a person who was in your shoes literally 4 months ago. like he was starting mod 2 in the L&D phase in IT help desk not even half a year ago, and now he's on internship. So I mean, that's somebody who I thought realistically you all can picture yourself. Oh, this is gonna be me soon. I'm gonna be at my internship site working and getting a grasp on what you're gonna be doing. So I'm really happy to hear it was helpful. Thank you for that feedback, Maria.
Yeah, just to elaborate a little bit more. That's exactly the feeling I just had. Like I feel like I have had way more information and it felt like real talking to somebody that it feels like fresh,
Mhm.
just coming out of the same place that I am currently on. And it just feels like damn, he's really like talking from his perspective, like he's being true and honest, and it is something that I can really understand. So I feel like it was really the information, it was way better than what we actually get on developing you series.
Mhm.
So like I hope it was like this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Maria. I'm glad that it made you feel like, okay, I'm on the right path. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I can follow in the footsteps of David, and I'll be on internship soon, and I'm gonna be okay. Yeah, Kayla.
Yeah, I definitely like David, especially I could relate to him. College kind of didn't work out for me. So, coming into Europe recommended by two of my cousins, I could definitely relate to him. So that was very encouraging.
Yeah, definitely agreed. I mean, to me, like I told David this yesterday, like you're like the poster child for Europe because you're a person who said, I want to get a career in tech. I don't want to go to a traditional 4-year school, and I want to, get the fast track to get a job in IT. And he came to internship, came to L&D, showed up every single day, engaged, did his deliverables, networked, connected, and now he's doing great on his internship. And I mean, hopefully we'll convert. I mean, still too early to tell, but hopefully he'll convert into a full-time role at Amex if that's what he decides to do. Yep. Amir?
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, you as his coachee and his instructor for the most of the time, did you see like a big growth and change from like when you first met David to now where he's like he seems confident, he speaks easily, he's working on the stuff, like he seems pretty, comfortable now.
That's a really great question. And yes, like it's funny because like from my angle, like I'm like, wow, David's like a different person than he was when I met him at orientation in class 29. Because when he first came, he was like all of us feel, a little bit unsure of ourselves, like, is this the right path I should be on? But as the process continues, you see the growth, you see the change. And I look at him now and it's like, wow, you're a different person than you were, when I first met you. And that's exactly what Europe has the ability to do if you engage with it. It helps you to grow. Like I told David this yesterday in our coaching call. I'm like, listen, like this 6-month L&D phase, it's like being in college on steroids. Like it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be intense. It's supposed to be difficult. It's all those things. And I think sometimes, folks in L&D get a little bit, not frustrated, but they get like, overwhelmed because it is a lot. And we as instructors, we totally are aware of that. But we're preparing you for where he is now, which is on internship, showing up, doing well, performing with excellence, getting positive feedback, and hopefully converting into a full-time job in the next couple of months where he'll be, growing his income substantially, building a better life for himself, building a better life for his family. I mean, that's the goal. But yes, huge dramatic change and since I first met him, which is really encouraging to see.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Amir. And Claire?
Sorry, I'm still not feeling well, so my
Okay.
camera's off. So I have a two-part question actually.
Mhm.
Does our learning community change like for the year? Are we going like do we graduate as LCM 30? And my second question is, you guys mentioned before his like little speak or whatever that he is like the runner up to speak for the graduating class. How did he become the runner up?
So first part of that question is when David mentioned like enjoy the L&D phase because you won't be seeing your colleagues nearly as much. The reason that is because when you go to internship, you'll remain in the same LC. But instead of having Monday morning kickoff, instead of having Friday feedback, instead of all the regular touch points that we have as a learning community, we only have one. And that's on Wednesday afternoons for about 2 hours because most of your time is going to be spent in internship working at your job site. So like, this moment, like this class we're in right now, I mean, maybe it's, annoying at times to log in and be on Zoom for like the, the third hour of the day, but like that, you're not going to have this anymore. Come internship, like your time's going to be spent working. I'm no longer learning. So you'll stay in the same LC, yes, but you'll have less meetings with your LC come internship. Second part of your question is that your LC actually votes on who they think should be the class speaker. So what that means is we had the vote yesterday. David and another man, Randy, some of you might know Randy Borden. He's an IO student from class 29. Those two are now, having a conversation on who will speak at graduation, but you're voted on by your peers. And the reason that Randy and David got voted was because they were the two people who were the most networked and connected and helpful and lived out the values of Europe while in the L&D program. It wasn't because they were necessarily the most articulate people or the best public speakers. They were just those who were like, wow, Randy, David, they were really helpful to me in my time here. And I want to, lift them up as the graduation speakers. So that's how that answer goes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jesus?
So I have two questions. First one would be, so you said that on Wednesdays we're gonna be like meeting like during the internship phase. Does that mean we're gonna be getting out of whatever internships we are in early that day? Or how is it gonna work?
That's exactly how it works. Yep. So you know how like in your L&D phase, your day ends early on Wednesdays. The reason it ends early is because we had the interns come back. When we were physical, they would all come to the Europe office on Wednesday afternoons. But because we're virtual, it's only online. So it's called Internship Seminar. It's from 1 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. every Wednesday, and that's when you come back with your LC. That's when you see your coaches again. It's all that good stuff. So it's kind of like a Monday morning kickoff or Friday feedback, but that's the only time you meet with your LC during the L&D phase.
What time would work end for that day?
That would depend on your job site.
Because like, let's say I know most of us, we kind of live kind of far. So, would we have to like find an area at like whatever job we're in and just like open up Zoom, or will we have time to get back to like our actual like homes?
Most people that are working in an office like David is, he just dials in from his office. He doesn't like hop on a train and go home. So I'm guessing he just works probably until 12 or 12:30, has a lunch break, and then opens up his computer and does that time on Zoom.
Okay, thank you. And then my second question, I saw that there was more than one like Europe intern at where David was. Is that common?
Yep, that's very common. Most internship sites have multiple Europe interns that go to it, depending on the size of the partner. So Amex has 4 partners, IT help desk Europe interns that are there this class. The only person that I know, there's two IT help desk students in class 29 who were the only interns at their job site. That was Hannah Holmes. She went to Spotify, and that was Jesus. I forget his last name, but he went to LinkedIn. And both Jesus and Hannah are like virtual interns. So like they're not going to an office, they're working from their apartments. But it's much more common to go somewhere with other Europe interns.
Oh,
Yep, good question. Audrey?
So I think you already answered this, but internships are like working in the company already, like jobs that you get.
Yes, exactly. An internship is like you're working there. It's obviously you're not paid. It's an unpaid 6-month internship, but it does many things. Number one, it gives you exposure to the workforce. It gives you credibility in your resume. It gives you the opportunity to network with different professionals in that workspace. It does all those things. And the goal, for some people is they go to internship and they think, oh, I like working here. I want to convert. And what that means is like, I want to get a job at this place. So David would say, I like Amex. I want to get a job at Amex. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it happens though, where someone gets an internship at a company like, no, well, this is cool. I got some great experience, but I'm really interested in this other company over here. And I don't know if you guys caught it, but David said, having a good relationship with employment placement is really critical because they're the ones that help you, get the job after internship is over, whether that's at your internship site or whether that's in a different company. Yep. But it's like you have a job now as an intern. That's what's really cool about Europe. You go to college, they don't give you an internship. They just say, just learn, which is fine, but it doesn't make more. The best way to learn is by doing. And Claire, do you have another question, or is that from earlier?
I'm sorry, that's from earlier.
It's okay. You know what? It's 11:13. You guys let's take a 5-minute break, and then we'll finish up today's class. All right. See you at 11:18. All right, folks, you can go ahead and come back on camera. Today is April 29th, which means we have the great and powerful Desmond as today's assistant instructor. Monsieur Desmond, how are you?
Wow, that's great. That's great. I'm doing great today. That's a great thing today.
Awesome, awesome. How why don't you start us off by telling us a little bit about yourself, Desmond?
Oh, okay. So, my name is Desmond, and I was born and raised in Monrovia, Liberia. I came to America back in 2013, and I went to high school in New York City, and later moved to Pennsylvania,
Cool.
where I graduated from Harris Truman High School, and yeah, I was working and um doing little stuff like party promotion, like getting into the entertainment business, basically doing everything about entertainment. So
Very cool. I love it. I love it. What's a fun fact about you, Desmond, or something interesting that we might not know?
a fun fact about me is like I love to DJ. I do that.
Mm,
I love to DJ.
that's so cool. Do you have like a particular genre of music that you like to play, or you kind of open to all genres?
I'm open to all. I'm really like I would love to like learn to like I don't know how to say like even know more music. Like if I have the chance to like know more no other cultures music, I would really want to do that.
I love it. I love it. Thanks so much, Desmond. And what is a question that you want to ask to our group this this Thursday morning?
Um. All right. So, what's everybody favorite type of computer to use? Is it like depends like on compared to the like Dell or Microsoft? I mean not Microsoft, but on Mac.
Mhm. Awesome. So in the chat box, what's your favorite type of computer to work on? Desmond, what's yours?
On mine, to be honest, is Mac. Is MacBook.
Is MacBook, you like Macs?
Yes.
Very cool. Yep, I'm actually a PC guy myself, which is ironic because I have an iPhone, and everyone tells me like once you get a Mac, like it'll be pretty easy to get used to because you're used to Apple devices. But I just never switched over. I've always been a Windows guy. So all right, looks like we got lots of answers in the chat. Some Windows, some Mac. Oh, we're learning about people's cultures, which is a lot of fun. Love it. Mac, PC. Wow, we're split here. Very interesting. Well, thank you so much, Desmond. It's really great to have you in class as always. Thank you for sharing a little bit about who you are and your background. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for listening too.
Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna do a really quick breakout. Then I'll share the deliverables, and we'll be done for the day. So here's our breakout scenario. This is real time. Imagine that you're on a team, a project team to solve this problem. The problem is our company, our imaginary company, is paying $50,000 a month on a Manhattan office that nobody has used since last March. And we've actually found that company morale has improved, our productivity has improved, and we decided, you know what, I should have updated this. We're going to say, starting now, June 2021, we're going to be remote indefinitely. We're getting rid of our office. Everybody's staying remote because we're spending all this money, and we want to we have a more productive team and a happier team, completely remote. So what you're going to do in your small group is you're going to think of 5 objectives. Remember, those are the baby steps. How do we safely move our team from we were remote, we were in an office in Manhattan paying this for rent to now we're fully remote. An example of that is we have to find a lawyer to negotiate us to break our lease. So that cannot be one of your 5. Think of 5 other ones, but that would be an example of a baby step that we need to take. So you and your colleagues, you're on the project team. This is your very first meeting. Baby steps to get us to be a completely remote organization and to get rid of our office space in Manhattan. I'll give you guys 10 minutes. I think of 5 things we need to do. Any questions on this? All right. See you guys in 10 minutes. Okay, welcome back. We'll let the everyone else make their way. I know we have 10 minutes left. Real quick housekeeping matter. Just want to help you all out professionally. When you get to the workforce and you're in a meeting, and if you're off camera and you have to step away, you should do what Eduardo just did and say, be right back, or I need to step away for a second. That's just etiquette. All right. Don't say I'm gonna go to the bathroom. We don't care. No one cares. I'm going to the bathroom. Just say be right back. All right. Keep it professional. But if you don't do that and you step away and you're not on camera, and then you appear to be in the meeting and you're not in the meeting, it's not a very good look for you professionally. And it just happened in this class where two of our colleagues just never went to the breakout room. They just stayed in the main room, and I called on their name. They weren't here. And it's not a good look professionally. And you get to the workforce, and if you appear to be at a meeting and you're not in the meeting, it's not a very good reflection of your work. And we're all working from home. We all have to use the bathroom, get a coffee, take care of the cat, answer the door for the Amazon guy. That's life, okay? But just say, hey, I gotta step away for a minute. I'll be right back, and that's it. Just leave it at that. All right. Just want to share that piece of professional development for all of us. With that being said, in the chat box or raise your hand, what were some of the baby steps that we need to take to break our lease, get out of this $50,000 a month mortgage, and get our team to be dispersed? Brandon, what's one of our objectives?
So we put one of the things that we put was conduct a technology survey to see what everyone has to work from home. So that you want to, make sure everybody's equipped to actually transition into that remote, work.
Excellent. So you're going to ask your colleagues, what do you need? Notice actually really interesting about that, Brandon, is year up when we went virtual, we actually got a small stipend to help us get our workspace like where it needs to be. So you got a desk chair, you got a nice desk, you got like a monitor, you got headphones if you need them, and the company helped pay for that, which is really helpful, because if you're spending all day every day on your laptop, hunched on your bed trying to work, it's not good for anybody. So making sure you have the equipment you need to do the job. Excellent idea. Thank you, Sikander.
I think the biggest thing was setting up reliable communication channels. So you can always keep up to date on what needs to be done. So if somebody needs to contact you, there has to be a way that you respond as soon as possible and not just through email.
Excellent. I love it, Sikander. What are going to be our communication channels? Are we going to do Slack? Are we going to do Google Meets? Are we going to do GChat? What's going to be our communication channels? Because that, coffee talk is no longer there. That water cooler talk is no longer there. Izzy?
So one of the things that we said was create a training module session that goes over the basics of working from home, like setting up your new equipment, phone software, your router. Just some people come in when I know for a fact when I had customers come in, they didn't know how to set up their Wi-Fi, or didn't even know what a router was.
Right. Yeah, excellent. So having those resources available, here's a training, how to make the most of your virtual workspace. Excellent. I love it. Brian?
So my group, we came up with 5 things, but as everyone mentioned, I guess the most important thing would be establishing the virtual network setting so everyone can still function.
Yeah, excellent. Setting up the virtual network settings so everyone can function. You definitely need a lot of quality broadband to work, especially if you're doing Zoom calls all day. This, Optimum 200 is not going to cut it. You got to have the good stuff. Michael Perez?
Yeah, so in my group, we came up with 5 ideas, but one of them was setting up everybody with work laptops, since we're gonna be working remote.
Interesting. Yep, you need that. Definitely need that. Thank you, sir. Desmond?
So one of the main things we talk about in my group was occur Monday's morning meeting to see where every employee head is at, like during the beginning of the week or at the start of the week, basically.
Hmm. Excellent. So having like a Monday morning kickoff, kind of what we have here at Year Up.
Yes.
How was everyone's weekend? How you all feeling? What some companies do, which I love, is they'll have like a daily stand up with their immediate team, not with everybody, just with those they work with. And they say, are you green, are you yellow, or are you red? Anybody know what these terms mean? Green means I'm great, my counter's good, I got lots of time and energy today. Yellow is I'm pretty overwhelmed, but I'm okay. I'm trudging through. Red is like I'm stressed out, I'm overwhelmed, I need help, I need support. Yeah, it's kind of like you did in elementary school. See, go back to the basics. But it's really smart because if me and Lauren and Jorge are a team, and Lauren's a green and I'm a yellow and Jorge's a red, Lauren and I know we can help Jorge with whatever he needs done that day, and we're there to support him. And we also know not to bother him as well because he's got a really busy day. And it's a good way to stay in touch with your team. Amir?
Yeah, something Alan, Renee, and I discussed was while the transition is happening, let's say towards that middle phase, you want to give everybody a time to like, let's say they work in a cubicle or they have a desk, to empty out their belongings and to kind of get settled. So maybe give them a day or two to kind of like before restarting, you know?
Absolutely, yes. Having like a spring cleaning day. Everyone come, get your stuff. Yeah, you need that for sure. Yeah, I have a funny story about that, but I won't embarrass this person. All right, and Claire?
So my group said that possibly renting out a cheaper space because depending on the company, this might be a company where they might need to meet in person sometimes.
Yep.
So yeah, renting out a much cheaper space so that they could get what they need done.
Yeah, for sure. Like a lot of companies now, they're getting rid of their offices, but they're renting out some office space in like a WeWork or like a co-working space because it's a fraction of the cost. And then for those who have to go in for like in-person meetings, they have that space to go do that. All right, we got 2 minutes. Sikander, then Daniel, then we're gonna wrap it up.
Referring to the $50,000 mortgage, since somebody touched up on that side, you could check out subleasing options.
Yeah. Yep. You definitely could if you'd rather go that route. You could sublease that space as opposed to breaking your lease. And Daniel, do you have one more you wanted to add?
Oh yeah, my group kind of went that route as well, finding a smaller place. Instead of taking 3 floors, you could probably take 1 floor. Have some people work at home, have some people work in the office.
Yep. Totally. All right, good. Well, as we wrap up, here's my funny story. I won't say the person's name, so I'm embarrassed this person, but I went to the Europe office for a day of work back in like November, and someone asked me, if I could check their desk because they swear they left an apple in the top drawer of their desk, and they never went back to retrieve it because they never had a day to go get your stuff, and they were very, very worried that the apple was there like rotting away with like bugs and worms and all that stuff in it. There was no apple. There was nothing in there. I checked the desk. That's all. That's the end of the story. All right. Submit the second half of your discussion board tonight, as well as your initiation of a project deliverable. And big news, there is no project management class on Monday. I'll be doing something personal. I won't be around. There'll be some async work. I will email you guys that, but do not come to my 10:30 class on Monday. I won't be here, so don't show up. We'll be back to our usual schedule on Tuesday. Any questions on the deliverable? Yes, Sean?
Yeah, for Monday, I have the epic evaluation with you. Will you not be there either?
No, I'll be there for that. Yeah,
Okay.
For my epic evaluations with you and my coach Cheese, I'll be there, but I will not be there for class time.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Any other questions?
How long does the project, not the project, but for the deliverable, how long does it have to be? Does it have to be like a paragraph? You want to be like
a paragraph is fine. Yep.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that you have a clear idea on the concepts. Yep.
All right, thank you.
Yep. And it's 11:45, so we can officially dismiss. If you want to stay back and ask questions, feel free to. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you. Have a good one, Eric.
Have a good one, Eric.
Have
a good one. Bye.
Have a good one.
I'm glad you're feeling better, Eric.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Have a good one, Eric.